Welcome to the Ultrahuman experience. This session is free for you for the complete experience. Please download the Ultrahuman app.
Welcome to Bedtime Stories. My name is Maria Castro, and you are listening to I Dream of Dali. Tonight's story will immerse you in Salvador Dali's legendary painting, The Persistence of Memory. As you enter the painting, you will find yourself in Costa Brava, Spain, in a safe sea cove. There, you will explore the fluidity of time and space as only Dali could have imagined. So get cozy and comfortable in your bed as I guide you on this journey. Imagine that you are seated on a blue and white checkered blanket in the center of a park. You are in the cool shade under some willow trees. The leaves of the willows are like delicate strands of hair and rustle in a gentle breeze that wafts through the park. All around you is a field of bright green grass. You have just finished a picnic lunch and you feel peaceful and content. The grass is warm and soft under you, and sunlight dapples through the willows and nuzzles your face. Clouds drift lazily through the bright blue sky, merging to form large, fantastical shapes, and then drifting apart again, each continuing on its way. An oversized coffee table book of Dali's famous surrealist paintings rests near your folded legs. It is the perfect rhythm material for a sleepy summer's afternoon. You pick it up and feel the hefty weight and coolness of the book in your hands. You flip open the hardcover and look through the thick, semi-glossy pages. You turn till you come to Dali's The Persistence of Memory. You run your fingers over the page. As sunlight shines through the twirling willows and lights up the picture before you, you gaze at the iconic image, noticing the shelter of golden sea cliffs that protect the blue sea and beach. There are 3 analog clocks in the foreground. They are all melting, as if they are made of wax. One is on a table. The other is folded over a branch of a tree that grows out of the table. And the third melts on a strange white form on the ground nearby. A stopwatch rests on the table, covered in ants. It appears somewhat smaller than the melting clocks. You run your finger around the outlines of the clocks, just like you would do with pictures when you looked at the storybooks as a child. It is soothing to look at the strange clocks, which are soft like melting wax. You feel your eyes become heavy and your eyelids begin to drop. You lie down and set the book beside you. You let your head rest on your blanket and feel the cushion of the grass beneath you. You take a deep breath, letting your chest and belly rise. Before you sigh it all out, you let go of your day and welcome the comforts of the present moment. As you inhale again and then exhale, slowly, deeply, you let your eyes close gently and watch your breathing as it becomes slower and deeper. Though your eyes are closed, the painting remains in your mind, vivid and detailed. It is almost as if there is a gallery wall in your mind on which the painting hangs. You stand in front of it, taking in every detail. You lean closer and can almost see the grains of sand in the painting shifting in the breeze. You can almost hear the wind blowing over the coast in the painting. Mesmerized, you reach out to touch the painting. To your amazement, you find that your hand passes through the surface of the painting and into the world within. You can actually feel the warmth of the sun and the breeze against your hand. You take a moment and then, with a deep breath, step into the world of the painting. You find yourself in Costa Brava, Spain, the place where the clocks melt in the shade. a figure approaches along the tawny brown sand from a distance. As he nears, you realize that it is Dali himself. He comes closer and closer, and then stands before you, his hands proudly on his hips. He has a black handlebar mustache, thin as a blade of grass, which curves up towards the outer corners of his eyes. He wears a black three-piece suit with a frilly white dress shirt from the 19th century. Dali looks like he should be at the opera rather than a desolate shoreline like this. He has a commanding presence, like that of a ringmaster at a circus. He has brown, passionate eyes. When he speaks, they bulge outwards and expose the whites of his eyes. His eyebrows arc towards his hairline as he welcomes you to his homeland and the world of his imagination, a place where clocks melt like cheese left in the sun, a place where time is no longer linear and you are free to abandon all judgment and perceptions, a place where your imagination will guide you. Dali pinches the edge of his mustache with the same delicate fingers that painted the scenery before you. His lips curl into a mischievous smile, and then he disappears into thin air. But though he is not physically with you, you can feel his presence all around you, in the sand under your feet, in the quality of the light, in the distant rocks, everywhere. This is Dali's mind, and wherever you go, he is by your side. The air is warm, and there is a haze coming off the Mediterranean Sea. The sky is the color of blue topaz and stretches out over golden cliffs that slope into an aquamarine sea. There is a table in front of you, out of which grows a slender tree. On the table is one clock, which seems to be melting over the edge of the table. Another clock, also melting, hangs drooping over one of the branches of the tree. A third melts on the surface of a strange white form on the ground, part animal, part mineral, but whose edges seem almost like wisps of smoke. There is another object on the table in front of you. Not a clock, but a gold stopwatch. Unlike the clocks, it does not appear to be melting. It ticks away the seconds lightly, in a calming, predictable rhythm. Ants crawl over the face of the stopwatch, busy and absorbed in their tasks. But you are still, merely an observer, with no sense of urgency within you. As you take in the landscape around you and inhale the salty air, you feel a sense of peace descend on you. This is the present moment, and you are free to go to any future you choose. Your past is behind you, and now every choice you make will define how your future unfolds. You are the artist of your own life's landscape, just as Dali created the world that you now explore. The past and future exist in a fluid space, and you move smoothly, unhurriedly, from one to the other. Memories dance like brushstrokes of oil paint on a canvas. Dali's presence is all around you. You can hear him whisper on the breeze, explore the melting time. You are drawn to the clocks, which are like ice cream that is beginning to soften on a warm day. The nearest melting clock, which folds over the edge of the table, is encased in a gold frame. As the clock melts, it ripples upon the solid surface of the table like ocean waves. As they come and go in an ever-changing tide. But while a tide may change, the ocean stays the same. It is water and salt and everything else that the water contains. Permanence and fluidity exist together. The tides of your life bring change. As you learn and as you physically age and grow, yet the essence of you remains the same through the flowing ripples of time. You place your hand on the gold-rimmed melting clock, surprised to feel the coolness of its metal rim and glass surface. Something strange and wonderful happens when you touch it. The surface of your skin melts gently into the clock. You pull your hand back at first, but then realize that it is a pleasant feeling, a feeling of surrender and letting go, as if your entire being could melt into the table, into a state of complete peace and calm, feeling a sense of fluidity in your own physical body. You walk over to the next clock, though you feel more like you are gliding along the ground. It is draped over the tree, a barren olive tree, like a beach towel left to dry in the breeze. You run your hand over the smooth branch, which has no leaves on it. You notice how firm and solid it feels to the touch. It is like the unshakable core of the tree, just like your own unshakable core, which remains strong and stable even as you travel through the years. Your body may go through many changes over time as you pass from youth to adulthood, and yet you still feel like yourself. That is a constant that time cannot erode. You suddenly feel more brave and touch the dangling clock. This time you welcome the melting of your entire body as you merge with the clock. You feel as though you are in a dream state, as if all the moments of your life are happening at once. Inside this melting time clock, you are floating among the stars, and each star is either a memory from the past or a hope for the future. You choose where to focus, touching a star and channeling a memory, or a future hope that appeals to you most. You let your mind wander freely to what feels best for you. Your future is defined by your feelings and hopes and the actions that you take. As you float over this landscape now, Dali reappears beside you, like a hologram shimmering into view, moving along with you. Then, as quickly as he appears, he begins to rise upwards and fades like a wisp of smoke into the sky. Dali firmly believed a true artist is not one who is inspired, but one who inspires others. And indeed, with his presence around you. You feel a warm, passionate glow in your heart. And you feel inspired to be perfectly in tune with your imagination and unlimited in your creativity. The melting clocks remind you that you, too, can mold your time and your life in any way that you desire. Now you pull yourself out of the clock. Once you decide you want to, it feels like a gravitational force helps you emerge from it. You land back on the beach of Costa Brava. Your feet touch the ground with a gentle thump and create a small cloud from the dry, powdery, soft sand. You feel an innate wisdom that empowers you. Your life is defined by your perception through time, by how you decide to interpret your past, what you take from the present, and what you imagine for your future. You are in control of your own state of being. Through time, you have always been in control of your choices and of what you perceive. You walk to the last melting clock. It flows over the cream-colored form like a cape strewn about the beach by a magician who disappeared underneath it. You kneel on the sand and notice thick golden strands that emerge from a fold and reach towards the clock. They seem almost like eyelashes that emerge from an eye on the form. The end of the form fades into the sand as if evaporating. You touch the lashes and feel as if you are in a strange dream. It isn't because of what you touch or see, but how you feel. You feel a part of you that is eternal and fluid, that will remain even if your physical body were to fade away. This part of you feels light and warm, tingling and soft. It is the you that has always been you, and that radiates light in spite of circumstances and satins and material objects that come and go on the timeline of your life. The part of you that brings the ever-present sparkle of life to your eyes, that emits sensations of peace and tranquility and trust. You run your hand down along the form to where it begins to fade away into thin air. You watch as your hand fades away, and then when you pull it back towards you, becomes visible again, leaving you with a sense of awe. You stand and look around at the landscape. Now that you have learned what you could from the clocks, you feel yourself being drawn towards the sea. You begin to walk along the sand and go deeper into the scene. You pass from shade into the full warmth of sunlight, which coats your body like liquid gold. The walk is far, but you are focused on the present, taking one step after the other. The sand shifts under your feet. You look around and let your gaze run over the jagged cliffs, which are in shades of honey and straw yellow, and which appear to protect the cove. They are depicted with such brightness that they are like mirrors for the sun, illuminating the Costa Brava shoreline. You get closer to the water, feeling as if your feet are getting heavier on the wet sand, and as if your steps are beginning to sink in more and more with each step. As a light breeze dazzles your hair, you look back one last time towards the melting clocks. You walk on and come to the water and step gently into it. You feel its coolness wash against your toes, which now wiggle in the sand. The clocks have shown you that you are free to change your form, as if in a dream. You are free to let go of your physical state as you enter the Mediterranean Sea. The aquamarine and turquoise waters are inviting and soothing. You are fully clothed, but you find yourself going deeper and deeper into the tranquil water. You float on your back, looking to the clear sky above, riding upon a wave. You know that at any time you may let go and surrender to the visions of Dali. You now realize that you too can take on a melting form, like the cream-colored shape on the sand. You feel your body merge with the gentle lapping waters. You are floating, letting go, and finding the contentment of surrender. As you melt into this dreamy sensation, you find yourself floating in a space between sleeping and wakefulness. You are floating to a place of magic where you are most free, to a landscape of inspiration as timeless and free as your dreams. A place where you can explore the subconscious connection between all that you are and all that you may become. Such is the place that Dali has imagined and created for you. Dali said, "Give me 2 hours a day of activity, and I'll take the other 22 in dreams." And now it is time for you to explore what is yours in the dreams that await you. Good night and sweet dreams.